Thank you. So, I was talking to a student the other day who felt really conflicted. She had just been offered a full-time job. And as students buzz by in their business suits on career day off to their next interview, her head simply hung low. She was worried about this. She was worried that this would become her future. A future where she had to decide between making a living and living a life of meaning, and one that she felt passionate about. Because deep inside of her, she knows that the world feels larger and more connected than ever, and she wants to find her place in it. She knows that the world is constantly changing, and she wants to uncover what's next. She knows that the challenges of our time are more complex than ever, and she wants to find where she can make a difference. So if this is our world and this is our future, like many others have talked about, why are we preparing our students for an outdated world? We're using models that are over half a century old, where students are given predefined challenges to then pluck from a menu to determine the best solution. But as you and I know, the problems of today are not predefined. And I'm sure that all of us are here today because we believe there's something fundamentally wrong with today's current system. So what do we do as educators? How do we prepare this generation when we ourselves don't know the answers? How do we prepare students for a world when the world is constantly changing? Well, I think we're in luck because they're actually figuring it out for us, and we just need to listen. In 2009, a handful of students at McCormick School of Engineering at Northwestern University, with Professor Liz Gerber, made a couple of demands. They said, we want to put our education into action, and we want to solve the world's problems by empathizing with those in it. And these demands have been echoed by hundreds across the country. In Design for America, we are a network of students all over the country using design to create local and social impact. Students aren't doing this for a grade, they're not doing it for pay, and they're not even doing it for course credit. They're doing it for the chance to tackle wicked challenges like how to improve the lives of children with autism or how to reduce e-waste in our own local community. They're going out into the world, talking to real people, empathizing with their needs, and working with students from all types of disciplines, from psychology to biology, my favorite, undecided, plus the 60 other majors that our Design for America students come from. And they're mentored by professionals and experts from the field, so they don't have to start from square one, but learn from the best in the world and really tackle these challenges. Because design, as we see it, is not only the things that you can buy in a store or the things that you see on your screen. We see design as a process for navigating the ill-structured challenges of our time. It's called human-centered design, where you take in the world to find out where you can give back to it. And you do this by first understanding. You understand what are the challenges of the community that you're working with so that you can reframe your perspective and overcome your own assumptions. Because I'm sure we all have a lot of assumptions. You then go on to create a myriad of solutions, as many as possible, and take those out into the world to find what works and get rid of what doesn't. And then you keep iterating until you've met the needs of your users, and your solution is actually making an impact in the world. Students are asking themselves, what's the smallest change I can make to create the biggest impact? And students use this human-centered design process to uncover where they can make a difference. And I'll walk you through a few examples that students are doing to do just that. One team started out looking at the challenge of the fact that there are 15,000 children diagnosed with type 1 diabetes every year. And when they went and talked to families and listened to their stories, they learned about what a difficult transition that is to go through, where a child whose caretaker, who they love, is now pricking them every day and causing them pain, and they don't understand why this is. And so the team asked themselves, how can we improve the lives of children who have just been diagnosed with diabetes? Their answer was Jerry the bear. Jerry is an interactive robotic toy bear who also has diabetes. And a child takes care of the bear, and in doing so, learns to better take care of themselves. This charismatic team finished their last term in school over Skype to move to Providence, Rhode Island, and incubate their project. They're now making pre-sales on Jerry, raising $500,000, and launching their company. They even have interns. Not to mention that Hannah Chung was recently featured as one of the top 15 women in tech to watch in Inc. magazine, and we couldn't be more proud. Another challenge the team worked on was the fact that there are 100,000 deaths that occur every year because of hospital-acquired infections. So you might ask, what can students do about this? What kind of difference can we make? Well, the team uncovered and quickly learned that a big part of that sanitation, or part of that hospital-acquired infections, are because hospital staff are only sanitizing their hands at about 40 to 50% of the time that they should. I don't know if you've been in the hospital recently, but this is kind of a scary statistic. So the team asked themselves, well, how can we make this easier? And so they had a simple insight. And that insight was that if you have dirt or sand on your hands, maybe when no one's looking, what are you going to do but wipe it on your pants? And so designing around this very intuitive hand hygiene motion, the team designed and developed Swipe Sense, which is a sanitation dispenser that clips onto the belt, and you swipe your hands and it dispenses the sanitizer. It's a really simple solution. This team, after getting a health box incubator position, has now launched their company and raised $1.2 million. We're a nonprofit, they own all the IP, and we're really proud of them. They also landed on the cover of the Chicago Tribune business section, and they're telling the story and inspiring others to do the same. So an earlier stage project that one of our teams is working on is looking at the fact that there are 17% of children in the US are obese. This is triple what it used to be in the 1980s. So what can we do? Well, the students went out into their community, they talked to real people, and they worked with their partners and quickly found out an astonishing fact, that kids are addicted to flaming hot Cheetos. I don't know if you're aware of this phenomenon. I just read that it's recently being banned in several school districts in California and Illinois. So the team asked themselves, well, how can we encourage and reward healthy snack choices? How can we make a difference before the kids are, say, 12 years old? And so they decided to focus on the earlier generation before they got hooked, and actually made a game out of buying fruits and vegetables. It's called the Fruit Buddy. This is an early prototype, and it basically attaches onto the grocery cart, and kids match the color of their fruit to the color of the label. And the team has actually tested this with over 50 families and has found that if a child is part of the decision-making process for the foods that they eat, even if it's healthy, they're more likely to eat it. So not only has this team won a recent Good Maker Challenge, but they're also in discussion with Whole Foods about piloting it in their local community. So students are not waiting until after graduation to make a difference. They're doing it now. They're defining the problems they want to solve that they're passionate about, and in doing so, they're defining who they are as leaders. Like Sarah Malin, who after DFA said that this was the first time where she felt like she got to put her education into action. It's also worth noting that she now works for Lee at the Third Teacher as their first anthropologist on the team. Or Annie Wu, who recently shared that DFA has been the cornerstone of her education. She's not sure what she would have done without it, but she wants to keep doing this process her entire life. Or another recent comment from Francis Chen on DFA UC Berkeley's Facebook page that comes in with kind of a caffeinated buzz saying, oh my gosh, this is going to be so powerful, this human-centered design process. I'm already applying it to other challenges that I'm working on. This process is going to stay with us for the rest of our lives. And he was really, really excited about this fact. And the fact is that we need leaders like them. We need leaders who can stare ambiguity in the face and keep walking forward. Students who are going to be fearless enough to actually do something about a good idea, but also fearless enough to learn from their failures. We need leaders who can empathize with all walks of life and come up with creative solutions to the complex challenges of our time. And you know, we can't do this alone. So right now, I'd like us all to imagine a world where people didn't dread Mondays, a world where to get a job, it's not who you know, but who you've helped. And in the classroom, instead of talking about their grades, students are sharing stories about how they've made a difference in the world. The demand for this world is here, and I'm asking that all of us design for it. Thank you.